So welcome back to another video, my friends, and in this video we'll be taking a look at how you can create an Express server, that means a Node.js server with using Express but using TypeScript as well. So TypeScript is getting a lot popular these days, and I have also seen a couple of articles, and this article by Kathleen Pitt shows you how you can use TypeScript in a Node and Express project. And this is a very simple approach that you can use, right? So you can just read this article, you can just give thumbs ups and reactions to this one, because he has explained quite easily how you can do this. Now we are gonna follow along with this one, but we're gonna extend it as well a bit, right? So here, as you can see, it add the dev dependencies, and what we're going to do is we are just going to do some more stuff, right? So first off, I am going to open this with Visual Studio Code, so I can just say code dot the folder that I have right now, and here we go, it's open. So once I have Visual Studio Code open, I don't need this terminal. I can just close this up, and now inside of here what I can do is I can just zoom in so that it looks better. And now I'm going to open the integrated terminal right now. As you can see, Express Node TS. So first of all, we are just going to generate a package.json, and we do that by using npm init-y. So let's do that. And I hope you know the basics of TypeScript and npm and Node. So here is the whole package.json. You can edit it if you want. The next thing is how we are going to install some dependencies. So I'm going to say npm install. Now you can npm I, you can even use yarn if you want. For the sake of this video, I will be using npm because most of the people will be using npm. So let me just clear this up, and then I say npm I. The first thing is Express and the last thing is Express. We don't have anything else as our dependency because this is not an Express or Node tutorial. This is just a tutorial showing how you can set up TypeScript with Express. So we installed Express, and here is our dependencies, Express. Now we are going to install some dev dependencies, which are the types. Okay, so first off, npm I, and then we can just say -d, or you can just say --save -dev if you're using an older version of npm. -d for dev dependencies, and the first thing we want is gonna be TypeScript, because even if we have it globally installed, we need to install it inside of here, maybe for the contributor or maybe for something else. Okay, it's needed here. So we say TypeScript, and then we also need ts-node, and ts-node is actually a compiler. Like if you have for instance, we have Node that can compile JavaScript and then run it, right? So if I say Node and if we have any file, so if I just say Node, and that will open that up, and I can just run any JavaScript inside of my machine, right? So this is Node. But we have a similar approach, that is ts-node, which is also quite simple. So you can also install ts-node globally by npm I-g ts-node, and what that will do is that will allow you to run ts-node. Okay, so if I run ts-node, I can also use TypeScript here, right? So that's what we are going to do. So ts-node is basically, it's going to compile your TypeScript to JavaScript, and it's also going to run your Node commands. Okay, everything that you have in Node and TypeScript. So we have ts-node, and then we'll have nodemon. It's because if someone contributing to a project does not have nodemon installed, we are going to use nodemon as a dev dependency, and then we are going to install the types. So first off, we need the types of Node. So we can say add types /node, and then we can say add types /express. express, so that will install the types of node and express. Now if you're using any other dependency that has types from definitely typed, you can use the same thing, add types and then slash the package name. So let's hit enter. That should install all of our dev dependencies very quickly. Now once we have installed all of our dependencies and dev dependencies, what we can do is we can create the file for our TypeScript. Okay, so first off, let's just create an app.ts, because we are going to use ts now from now. And let me just get the terminal down and let's just close the sidebar. So first thing is first, we are going to import express. And now in TypeScript you can use ES6 syntax. Now you don't need to do a const express is equal to require and then express. This is the old way of doing stuff. Okay, now we do the new way of doing stuff. So import express from express, right? And then let's create an app. So const app is equal to express, and basically it will set the type of express, okay, implicitly. So that's what it is, right? The express application. And you can also explicitly define the type by importing the type. So I can just add a comma and then I can just do this. So there are a lot of types, like the application type. Maybe you can explicitly define that, hey, it is of type application. Okay, so basically this is of type of express.application. So you can use both. I use the implicitly typed, but it's fine if you use the explicitly typing as well, because I don't think it will make any difference. So I can just say app.listen, and maybe the same methods exist in the application type and the express type. So we're gonna listen it at port 5000. And basically let's just remove this, because I don't like doing this a lot, because I mean, if you have express and it just says express, then it's fine. I think so. And we save it, and now we can compile this TypeScript to JavaScript by just running tsc and then app, but not actually. We want to create some scripts, because first off you will work with something and then you have to compile it to JavaScript, right? So the first thing is, let's remove this. We're going to create the start script, which will be nothing but it will run the compiled JavaScript. So what we'll have is, we'll have node, and then we'll have app.js, and not actually app.js, because we are going to store that in a different folder, right? So we are going to store that inside of a folder called dist. So in the dist folder we'll have app.js, which we will run with node when we run the start script. Then we'll have the dev script, and the dev script is for developers out there. In this one we'll run nodemon, and it will be source/app.ts. okay, here you need to specify the extension, because you're using nodemon, and then you have to specify the extension, because you should find that it's a TypeScript file. Okay, and finally we'll have a build, and in the build what we can do is we can just say tsc and then /tsc -- project, and then we can specify that. So the path is going to be /source maybe, or we can just run tsc and that's it. And now we also need the TypeScript tsconfig file. So let's just say tsc -- init. So that will generate tsconfig.json, and here we'll specify some stuff. So first off, we don't want to use ES5. We will be using ES2020. Let's just use ES2020, right? And so after that we are going to uncomment both of these, and wait a minute. Okay, so out directory is going to be where your compiled JavaScript will actually go. So this will be /dist, and the root directory is where your TypeScript files will live, and so that's src that we'll specify, right? Now let's go ahead and create a new folder called source or src, and then we're going to move our app.ts inside of src. Here we go. Now it throws us an error for some reason. Let's just see what's that. Maybe that's some kind of error that VS Code gives us because it cannot find the app.ts file that we had earlier. So maybe that's the reason. And now let's try to run build it. So npm run build, or you can use yarn build if you're using yarn. So npm run build, and that should hopefully build out our dist folder. Yep, here we go. So here is our dist folder and here is our app.js. Now it uses var, and then I don't know why it is using var, because not sure actually, because we have specified ES 2020. Maybe ES 2015 is the thing. Maybe that's, or maybe we can just say ES6. And let's build it again. npm run build. So it runs tsc and then it builds out our JavaScript file. I'm not sure why it's not working. Maybe we need to delete it. And so we build it again. And not a problem, because we are not going to work on the JavaScript file. In the end, we are just going to work on the TypeScript files. You can create more and more TypeScript files. You can use middlewares, you can use routes, and you can use controllers and models, and those will be compiled to their own JavaScript file in the dist folder, which you can then basically use in the actual server. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you like it. I hope it helped you. You can use TypeScript, the benefits of TypeScript inside of Express now, which is quite easy to implement, right? And I recommend you learning TypeScript. You should try to learn it. It's very easy. Now as you can see, this code is it's just JavaScript, right? It's plain vanilla JavaScript, but you can just add types here by just specifying the types. So if I want this to be like this, a string type, I can just specify a string type, and it gives me error that, hey, why have you given the type of express, the value of express, if you have specified that I'm going to be a string. So that's the static type checking in TypeScript, which is very useful to me. And finally, guys, thanks for watching.